What is going on, guys? This is Sam, coach of the Crashing Silvallys, and today we're here with a draft analysis video of my draft in the Pokemon Masters League. So the draft was a few days ago. It finished a few days ago, same for grace period. And yeah, we wanted to make a video about how our draft went, and I usually do that when I am in draft leagues. So that's the good part about that. So, in round one, I secured myself my wanted pick, I would say. You can talk it like that. So I grabbed Excadrill in tier one. The thing with Excadrill is I played a lot of singles in my life, but I've never actually played Excadrill in like a sand team. So not in a directly sand team, but with like sand support, so that it has the double speed and sand. So yeah, I actually grabbed that this season. So Excadrill was my first round pick, and with Excadrill you can do a lot of very nasty stuff because it has very insane damage output, like Iron Head, Earthquake, and all that stuff. You have Sword Dance for setup in sand, can be very crucial. You have hazard removal with Rapid Spin. I can actually set up hazards with Excadrill if I play a more defensive set, like a more utility based set. So Excadrill was just very interesting for me, and I've always wanted to try it out. So yeah, I've gone for it. Yeah, then after that I picked up Gigalith for my Sandsetter because didn't want to get Hippowdon because I'm not a big fan of Hippowdon, and for me Gigalith was like the best Sandstorm setter there is in my personal preference. Because I don't know about Hippowdon. I've already got my ground type, so with Gigalith I would actually get a type I don't have, and I really like Gigalith. It has very nice moves, can always do something, but also a very solid rock setter, very nice abilities, and just capable of setting the scent for my little mole, who should demolish everything. Right? That is the game plan. So Gigalith was picked up for that. After that, I had Slowking. The thing with Slowking is I'm a big fan of Regenerator, and I wanted to get some tanky mons to have like a good defensive core. So with that, I immediately saw Slowking in tier two, and when Slowbro was picked, I knew okay, I want to get Slowking because I actually like Slowking more than Slowbro. And Slowking has been very interesting for me. I've had it in like 2 or 3 leagues, um, and it always performed pretty solid because you're not forced to play a defensive one. You can also run like a Soul Vest one. I even ran Choice Specs, I think, 1 week in another league. So yeah, that is a really cool choice. And I just like the utility that Slowking brings with like slow momentum with teleport. I have like how's the move called? Foresight. I have Foresight. I have Watermon, a bulky Watermon, which is always nice to have. So yeah, I'm just very happy that I got Slowking. After Slowking, I wanted to grab a fire type, since to that moment our dear Lucian grabbed the Arcanine that was usually planned in my draft. So I had to pick something else, and there actually was not the whole lot left on good mons for me personally. So I just gone with Salazzle. Salazzle, very interesting mon. A fast damage dealing Pokemon, also gift poison. Sorry, to have a German name. A classic. It's a fire poison type and has very good damage, and also brings some very nice utility, as like a Willow Whisper, or maybe like a Poison Venoshock set, also very interesting. So Salazzle was just my fire type. I wanted one. Salazzle looked like a decent tier 3. Also for Dynamaxing. I don't think it's too bad to Dynamax, because it gets a lot more bulk than it usually has. because Salazzle isn't the bulkiest one. But I think just the combination out of fire and poison steps is just really, really strong. So I'm very excited to play with Salazzle. After Salazzle, I think I picked Amoonguss, but I'm not too sure. I think Amoonguss was my pick here, because I needed a grass type, and I saw Amoonguss was free the whole time, and I was like, do I go for it? Do I go for it? And then in the end, it was still free, and I just decided to snatch it away. Because Amoonguss, very, very annoying Pokemon. Spore, also Regenerator, which I now have two of, and to have like a Regenerator core is always very, very nasty. And Amoonguss has just a really, really nice moveset. It actually has some moves you wouldn't expect, like Stomping Tantrum is also a thing it could have. You can run Giga Drain, Sludge Bomb. As I said, Spore, very, very good move. We play with Claws, so I can't just spam Spore, but still, Amoonguss is a very, very good defensive mon. And to have like the defensive core out of Slowking and Amoonguss is what I drafted for, so I'm very happy that that worked out. After that, I decided to get my last tier 2 pick, which was Hexerus, because dragons are cool, dragons are nice, and yeah, Hexerus, never played it in a draft league, never got to play it. I played it in some ladder and showdown, but never got the chance to go in a draft league with it, so I took the chance, I saw it, and I think Hexerus can be very, very dangerous. Like, if you set up one Dragon Dance, this thing can just tear through so many teams. It has so good coverage, also against fairies with like Poison Jab. It has such a nice move pool, and it's just a very, very interesting Dragon type. I've never got the chance to test out. So I'm very excited what Hexerus can do. And yeah, after that, I had Drifblim. The thing with Drifblim is, I was looking for like a very solid Dynamax Pokemon, and I wanted Defog and a flying type. So Drifblim looked very interesting to me, and Drifblim can just do more than people expect. You guys can run heavy duty boots as like a defensive stat, even though it has one of the lowest physical defensive stats. It's like 43 base, but still it's very, very tanky because it has high HP. It has some very decent damage output. You can run Flare Boost with Flame Orb, and then Dynamax for Airstream, which can be very, very good. It also gets like Tailwind if you want to play that. Defog is really nice. Ghost, always a type you can play pretty well, because Ghost hits a lot of things. And yeah, I just wanted a ground resistance as well, because my ground weaknesses, as you see, were a bit too much at this point. Because I had Salazzle with 4 times, I had Excadrill, I had Gigalith, and so I needed something flying, and Drifblim seemed like the perfect choice here. After Drifblim, I usually had Machamp, but actually I wanted to have Sork, but I don't know why. I typed in Machamp and then just changed it during grace period. If I would have kept Machamp, wouldn't be the worst, because they're both just fighting types. But my team wasn't the fastest during that time, so I wanted a little bit more speed than Machamp. So Sork was definitely a nice pickup here. I think Sork is also a very cool Pokemon to Dynamax, because fighting types always bang in when you Dynamax them. And Sork is actually also one of the mons I've never played too much. I think I had it in like 3 years ago in like some Showdown ladder, but dude, I can't remember that. So I'm very interested to see what Sork can do. Scarf Sork is really nice. I think you can run Bandit on him. Sork just has a very interesting coverage, because it gets access to the punches, I believe, to like Fire Punch, Ice Punch, and all that stuff. It has Inner Focus, which is nice against Intimidate. Also has Mold Breaker, which can be pretty crucial, because Mold Breaker always a very nice ability. Also, you have stuff like Throat Chop, Zen Headbutt, and all the good stuff. It actually also has Knockoff, and to have Knockoff, it's always really nice. Like, Knockoff is a really, really good move in singles. Yeah, that's my Sorg pick. After Sorg, I needed a tier 5, and I was not too sure what I wanted to have. I knew I wanted a dark type, but I was usually thinking of getting Weavile in there, but there were no tier 5 fairies I wanted to bring, because I was thinking of going like a tier 5 fairy because I wanted a fairy, and then tier 2 Weavile. But I think Weavile was actually picked before that, and I've decided to not do that because I wanted a good fairy type. And I think in tier 5 it was it just Clefable? I think Clefable and Aromatisse were in there, and Aromatisse was way too slow for my team. I not wanted to have another really slow mon, and Clefable is just not a Pokemon I really enjoy. So I decided to switch it around and try to find a tier 5 dark type that was cool in my team. And yeah, with that, I decided to get Absol, because to be honest, Absol is a really, 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 really unique Pokemon in my opinion, because it has a very, very, it has a very interesting special pool, but to all of that, also a very cool physical pool. I have every week I can build so crazy sets with Absol, and to predict what an Absol has on it is not the easiest thing, I would say, because the coverage is just really nice. I don't know if it will perform as good as I hope it will be, but yeah, that's all future melody, right? Mm, can't really say how it will affect my team. I do like it though, and it also has flying type moves with Aerial Ace and Bounce. So the Giga Dynamax, the Dynamax Airstream is also a probability for it. With just it's having almost every typing as attack move. To Dynamax it, it's not the worst. But yeah, Absol can't say more about it. I would see how this one will work out. And then for my last pick this league, I had Sylveon as the wildcard pick in tier 2. Yeah, I wanted a fairy, and Sylveon just smiled at me. It's my favorite evolution, to be honest. Sorry to all the Umbreon lovers out there, but Sylveon's just best girl. Yeah, as you can see, it fit in really well, in my opinion, because it's a defensive fairy type that can deal huge amounts of damage because of Pixelate. And I can tell you that Pixelate Hyper Voice always smashes in. I can also run Hyper Beam if I want to, but yeah. Sylveon also a Wish Passer, which is not the worst. And with Slowking and Amoonguss and like Gigalith, I can assume I have a very, very decent defensive core, both on physical and special side. So, yeah, pretty excited to see how that one pans out. Yeah, I hope you liked the draft analysis. I didn't want it to go more in depth because you need to hide your tactics and your thought processes. Yeah, I'm very excited how this league will pan out. I can tell you that. Yeah, and with that, we will hear each other again during week 1. And yeah, hope you had a great day and see you soon.